everybody, and welcome back to Guitar Lessons with Rhapsody. I'm so excited to see you guys again, and if you are new, it's nice to see you. And I hope you guys are ready to start learning some chords and triads. Now, last week we learned about some strumming patterns, and if you haven't already checked out my last video about strumming and just some basics of guitar, then I recommend you guys go back and check that out if you can. That way you guys can get caught up to speed. If not, we're going to keep rolling with it. So, first things first. This week we are going to be learning about A chords and triads. Now, I'm going to do like I did last time, and I'm going to answer some questions really quick, and then we're going to start learning how to play these chords and triads, okay? So, first things first, something new that I'm going to be introducing to you guys is I'm going to be putting on the screen some chord diagrams of how you play these A chords and triads. That way you guys can pause the video and you can take a screenshot or take a picture or whatever, so that way you guys can know what you are playing and how you can play them if you haven't already purchased the book that I resourced in the last video, which you don't need to have, it's just an option, or if you just need more time to learn how to do the finger pickings. Alright, so what are the O's and the X's in the diagrams? So in the chord diagrams that I'll be putting in this video for you guys to see as we're learning these different chords and triads for A, I will basically have X's and O's above each and every single one of the strings, indicating which ones are played and which ones are not. So X's mean you don't strum, while O's mean that they're open string and that you do strum them. And the ones that are blank that don't have X's or O's above the strings are the ones that you strum to make the chord sound. Alright, so this week we are going to be learning about major, minor, augmented, and diminished chords and triads. And those are all the different forms that I'm going to be teaching you with all the chords and triads that you'll be learning from me in this 8-week course. And I will basically break them down for you as follows in a second, where I'll show you what they look like when they're written down on paper so you can recognize them when it comes to music theory. And then I will do a voiceover and explain basically what they are. So, a major chord is symbolized by the capital M following the letter of the chord itself, and it is a triad, which means that it is a chord made up of 3 notes. Major chords are often described as the happy chords, and how you build them is the major chord contains the first, third, and fifth notes of a major scale. Now, a minor chord, which is symbolized by the lowercase m following the letter of the chord that you're playing, is a chord having a root, a minor third, and a perfect fifth. When a chord has these 3 notes alone, it is called a minor triad. Now, an augmented triad, which is symbolized by a plus sign after the letter of the note that you are playing, is a chord made up of 3 major thirds and an augmented fifth. The term augmented triad arises from an augmented triad being considered a major chord whose top note, the fifth, is raised. In a diminished triad, which is symbolized by the degree symbol, are 3 note shapes that you can play both as chords or as single notes. Because diminished triads contain the root, the minor third, and the diminished fifth, they're used to solo and comp over diminished family chords. Now, I know what you're thinking. It can be a little intimidating when you hear big words like chord and triad, and you're not really sure what the difference is, because I've used the term in both the same sentence before, and basically the difference between a chord and a triad is that a chord is a group with 3 or more notes, and a triad is specifically a root, third, and fifth. And finally, some new things that we're also going to be learning about is what are chord spellings. Now, all the chord spellings are given in relation to the notes of the major scale when it comes to major, minor, augmented, and diminished triads. And since we're on the topic of chord spellings, here are the chords and the triads that I'll be teaching you guys today, and I will explain their chord spellings. So, we have A major, which its chord spelling is the first is A, the third is a C sharp, and the fifth is an E. Now, A minor's chord spelling is the first is an A, the flat third is a C, and the fifth is an E. Moving on to our augmented A, the chord spelling for that is the first is an A, the third is a C sharp, and the sharp fifth is an E sharp. And finally, our diminished triad is chord spelling is a first is an A flat third is a C, and a flat fifth is an E flat. Now that we've covered all of these different types of chords and triads that we're going to learn how to play today, it's time to start playing them. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and grab your guitar pick, grab your guitar itself and go ahead and put your strap on and get in your seating position or your standing position that you want to play these in today. Alright, so the first one that we're going to start out with is an A major. So how you play an A major is super simple. All you're going to need is your pointer, your middle, and your ring finger, and you are going to take those 3 fingers and put them on the 2nd fret, so this one right here, and you're going to take your pointer finger, put it on the 4th string, then take your middle finger, put it on the 3rd string, and take your ring finger and put it on the 2nd string. Now, if you forgot what the strings are, I'll give you a quick little reminder. Going from the bottom to the top towards you, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 strings total. So when I count like that, remember it's 1 at the bottom and 6 at the top. Alright, so now we're going to play it. The way you play an A major chord is super simple. So what you're going to do is you're going to be strumming the 5th string all the way down to the 1st string. You're not going to strum that very top string towards you, the 6th one. You're going to instead strum all the rest of them. And it should sound like this. Alright, you go ahead and try yourself. Alright, now that we've done the A major, we're going to now learn A minor. And the way you play A minor is very similar to how you play A major, actually. The only difference is you're going to be using 2 frets instead of just the 2nd one. So how you play that is super simple. Using fret 1 and 2, you're going to use your pointer, your middle, and your ring finger again. And you're going to take your pointer finger and put it on the 2nd string of the 1st fret, just like that. And then you're going to take your middle and your ring finger and you're going to put them on the 4th and the 3rd string. Now the way you strum this is the exact same way as you strum the A major, which is the 5th string all the way down to the 1st string, ignoring that very top string, the 6th one. And all you're going to do is just... Alright, now you go ahead and try for yourself. Now to get a little practice before we move forward with the rest of them is that we are actually going to practice strumming and switching back and forth between the 2. So that way you can get comfortable learning how to switch between different types of chords that you'll see in whatever the songs that you play are. Alright, so the first way that we're going to play this is we're going to go from A major to A minor. And I'm going to put the commands on the screen below you so you can follow along, okay? Alright, so going from A major to A minor, this is how I want you to play it, okay? Down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. Alright, that's a little too fast for you. You can go back in this video really quick and you can try again until you get it, but it's okay if you don't get it the first time. It's just practice. Practice makes perfect, okay? Alright, now that we've learned A major and A minor, we are now going to learn how to play the augmented triad A. Now this one's very tricky for some, and still something that I struggle with too, just because of how far your fingers have to stretch on the fretboard to reach the actual strings. So it's okay if you don't get it the first go around, just keep trying and I'm sure you'll get it before you know it. Alright, so here's how you play it. You are going to be using the 2nd fret all the way to the 5th fret. I know it's a big stretch. Alright, here's how you're going to play. You're going to use all 4 of your fingers except for your thumb. And you're going to take your pointer finger and you are going to put it on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret. Okay? And then you are going to take your middle finger and you are going to put it on the 3rd fret on the 4th string. Then you're going to take your ring finger and you are going to put it on the 4th fret on the 5th string. And then finally, here's where the stretch comes in. You're going to take your pinky and you're going to put it on the 6th string on the 5th fret. It's okay if you don't get it the first time. As you can see, my fingers are straining a little bit. If you're having a hard time reaching, a good tip is to make sure that your wrist is not actually super stiff. You want it kind of relaxed. That way you can actually reach it better. Now, something to note about augmented and then also diminished that we'll learn about in a second is that they're not the best notes on guitar, but they are plausible and they are part of music theory, so I figured it'd be fun to teach you guys. So it's okay if it sounds a little bit wonky, but you're pushing down all the strings right and everything. Just remember that these aren't really designed for guitar too well, and they're kind of used as more so like soloing or just passing over certain chords to the next one. So it's okay. You don't use these very often in most beginner songs. Alright, so now that we've got our finger placement, here's how you're going to strum it. Going from the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd, you're going to strum those top 4. You're not going to strum the 1st and the 2nd string. You're going to leave those alone. So here we go. As you can see, I can't play it very well because my fingers are actually straining, so it's okay if you can't quite get it the first go around either. And when you're playing this, it's okay to put your fingers close to the frets, just don't put them directly on the fret. It's kind of funny sounding, isn't it? Well, it's okay if you can't play it perfectly. It still takes me some practice as well. And yeah, so go ahead and try that for yourselves if you would like to. It's a little bit harder to do, so we're not actually going to practice switching back and forth and practice strumming with this one, unfortunately. Alright, so the next one that we're going to learn about is the diminished triad and how you play that. So, this one's a little bit easier, well actually a lot bit easier in my opinion, than the augmented triad. And how you play that is super simple. What you're going to do is you're going to be using the 1st and the 2nd fret again, just like in minor, and you are going to use your pointer, your middle, and your ring finger again, and you are going to put your pointer finger on the 1st fret on the 4th string. Then you're going to take your middle finger and put it on the 2nd string on the 1st fret. And then you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to put it on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret. And how you strum this one is similar to how you strum A major and minor, but the difference is you're only going to strum the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. So you're not going to strum the 1st or the 6th. And it should sound something like this. Sounds a little funny, doesn't it? Again, most of these chords for augmented and diminished are actually designed for more practical instruments where they sound a little bit better, which is piano. Now, we won't practice switching back and forth between augmented and diminished because it's a little bit more advanced and even hard for people like myself who've been playing since I was a teenager. But I do want you guys to learn these things because they can be important, especially if you guys pursue music in your later lives, in your careers. But yeah, don't worry if you're like, oh, it doesn't sound good, or oh, my fingers can't reach that one. It's okay. Everything takes practice and time, so don't stress about it. But it's something that I wanted to teach you guys about augmented and diminished simply because you don't actually hear these in a lot of most songs that you hear that are beginner or easier to play when you hear them on the radio. Alright guys, I hope you had a good time this week learning about the A chords and triads with me. The augmented and diminished are definitely something that's not really for everybody, but it's okay. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I hope you guys enjoy all of your different activities and classes that are online brought to you by Holiday Lake Forge Educational Center this summer. And I hope you guys stay healthy and make sure you wash your hands. And yeah, just have a great rest of the week. Be sure to tag us on Facebook and Instagram if you guys do anything cool this week, okay?